So let's get started. So I go home up here, and the first thing we're going to do is create an alignment. And a lot of people will do a polyline, and they'll try to figure out, where's this going using plain CAD text. If this thing, it always happens like that, doesn't it? And we'll just put some lines out here across this topo here. And I'll do a fillet because I want to put maybe some curves in there, about 300 or so. And once I get that done, we'll go ahead and add that as alignment, and that would be by objects. If you go in there by CAD, that's what you'll get. And you hit that, enter, and you'll notice it points a direction. And that's the right direction, so hit enter, and then you can come up here and we'll call it A1. And no site on this proposed. I have pre-made company items on here, so that's going to apply to the way we set up our styles. Now, if you go through typical survey feet, then you'd be using Imperial from AutoCAD, or if you're going through metric, you use the metric version of their templates if you don't have anything else. But I already have these set up using our company standards. Add curves between tangents. No, I don't really do that, and I don't really erase that yet, so hit OK. So there's my alignment created from entities. Now, if I want to just go in there another way to create that, I won't erase that. I'll just do another one here. Is if you go to alignment and you say, hey, I just want to figure out how to do this using the tools, which are basically just popping points in there, PIs. We'll call this A2, and that all looks correct there. Put stations there, hit OK, and then you have your toolbox up here. So what you can do, go to the left side over here, and you can pick with no curve. Say you got a sewer or something, line or some straight lines, you can do that. But I'm going to hit this one right here with curves. Now if you want to know what your curve settings are, hit the bottom button, and you can change those. I'm going to change them to 500. And then go up here and then hit tangent. So you're just going to basically pop. So I'm starting here, kind of going to here, PI here, and then it'd be ending here. How about that? So now you have two alignments, different ways that you can put those in. And let's pull it out here and see what's happening. You can actually, that wasn't good, but you can edit these anytime you want. Those are small curves, so they're not probably going to move a lot, but you can often hit that and move them around like that. So they're always editable. So I'm going to look at this, hover it over, and that would be alignment number 1. We'll go with alignment number 1. I'm going to delete that one out there. So the next thing you want to do, of course, is create a profile. And if you'll notice, everything goes left to right, down, left to right, down. The way you kind of process data, create, design in Civil 3D. So now that you got that done, let's go look at creating a proposed one. You go up to Profile, Create Tools, select your view, and we'll call this Bureau-1. And we want to make sure that's finished grade. And again, your styles will be based on what you use at your office or the standard AutoCAD ones. I want to look at that. Standard, let's just use standard and see how that works out. And I want to do the same thing I did with alignment. Go here to left, draw tangents. No, I just want to do tangents with curve. Check the curve settings at 200. That's okay. Let's do it. So we go up here to draw. Start down here at the end, beginning and just put some points in. You can always delete these or add more, but you don't have to worry about getting everything right now. Gotta put one going into there and end it right there. There we go. So there we go. There's our proposed. So now we got, the elements. We got a surface, we got alignment, we got an existing profile, we got a proposed file. So now, before we get started to do our corridor, we got to create what I call a template, or your typical section of how you want. If it's a roadway, your curb gutter and sidewalk and tie-ins and things of that nature. So the way you do that is you go up here to your assemblies. You kind of jump ahead a little bit. You want to create an assembly. Before you do that, though, go over here to your right here. This button right here is tool palettes, because you want to see what's in there. Now you don't actually have to create a template from what I call stick build. You can actually pull one. There's one over here under assemblies called basic assembly. You pull that over there, and then you can hit there, and there you go. Look at that. So that's already pre-made. If you want to go in there and say, oh, I want to change something that's not right, yeah, let's get rid of you, buddy. So if we go in here and just click on the individual items, like let's say your curb, you want to right button and you want to go to your sub-assembly properties and go to parameters and say, well, actually it's a 2-foot curb, and then you can change anything in here too if you wanted to, and you hit OK on that. And you can actually do the same over here. Okay, how about that? And you can change, your widths and properties of information of that. And all your depths and all that. If you have a typical section that has all this written out in your design, then you can punch this in and it should give you volumes and things of that nature. So we got that done. Now if you're going to create one individual, someone says, hey, I want to do it. So you go back over to assembly and you say create assembly, and we'll call this SE1 or something like that, and that looks good. Assemblies. You plot a point out here. That's kind of your little magnet guy. He's gonna collect all the data. So you go back over to the palettes, and now you have to go create something. So we're going to create a little basic lane, and you notice it says right 12 foot. We'll go for that for right now. So, well, we lost it. Come on. I'm trying to get that out of the way. So it says right. So it's right side. So if you get in here and you have the one that's on the right, so I want to put one on the left, then you click on the left, but make sure you click on the center line of that, the assembly to get that first one. You'll be clicking on these little corners to get the rest of it. So we're going to go in here and put in some basic curb and gutters, and this will go on the right side. And then you just click over here and go left. Click on that right there, and there we go. How about that? Now if you want to go down here in curbs, and you'll kind of notice if you hit this right down here, kind of hidden, but you have all these different other options down here. So under that curb there's a sidewalk. We could put that in too. It's on the left. Click right and put that on here. So, well, come on now, and hit right and click on it. There we go. And then somewhere in here you want to go do daylight, and we'll just pick a basic daylight. And you get all kinds of daylights. We'll just use that one right there. And again, it says right, and it gives you all the parameters of the tie-in. And then I'll go with left and hit over here. There we go. How about that? So there you go with two assemblies that you can use on this. So now we want to create a corridor. So you go corridor, hit the button there, and then call it whatever you want to, what road it is, or however you want to do that. And then we pick alignment 1, Pro 1, which is our proposed surface, and then we'll go ahead and use a basic assembly. And target, we want to use edge of pavement. Come on now, edge of ground. So hit that, and it comes up here, gives you all the frequencies, and make sure that all looks good. It's pretty much good from there. And then you just need to hit OK, and it'll ask you rebuild yes. And there you go. You can see that it's, your corridor has been created. But you don't have a surface yet. Corridor and just click on it, and then hit right button, and corridor surfaces. So this is how we're going to create that. So go to your left hand button over here, and then hit create corridor surface, but you don't have anything in there yet. So you're going to use a link, and then you're going to use, what are you going to use? The top. The top grade for now. That's what you want to use. And then you have to add that. Now if you need a boundary, you can go over here, select different boundaries. But right now the boundary should be the target, which is the existing ground. So we'll hit OK on that, rebuild, and see what happens. There we go. There's our contours, which looks pretty cool. So I got that done. Everybody's saying, well, what about the cut and fill? What about the cut and fill? We'll go over here, and what you need to switch to at this point is the analyze, and then you want to go over here to volumes, dashboard, and you pull this up because you got two different surfaces created now, the proposed and the corridor and the existing. So you got to go over here to this third one over here and create a new volume. This is your new volume, and then it'll ask you all this information. You can call this vol 1, and I want to change that to something else like finish. Great. I'm not really concerned about this right here because I'm not really going to use that information to look at it from contour standpoint. I'm just going to look at it from my volume. And so I always use the base surface as the existing, and then we'll use this surface right here, which is the one we created, as the proposed. So we'll hit OK, and there we go. Look at that. We got a heck of a lot of cut, which sometimes I always prefer cut more than I do fill, but we want to kind of try to balance this out just a little bit. So you kind of look down here and see, hey, it's kind of going a lot of haywire up here. So there's something going on up here down in this direction. So maybe, we want to come over here and adjust this, pull it up a little bit, and then maybe pull this closer to the surface there. Check our grades, make sure that's good. That one's a little high right there. Maybe pull that over just a tad. Right there. And I'm going to actually delete that one out. So if you want to do that, you just click on that, look at your toolbox up here at geometry. It pulls up this profile, and then you hit delete BI. I didn't want to delete all of them, but that one right there. kind of hit that, delete that, and then escape. You don't want to hit. So I kind of want to pull this one back down. I don't know if I can do that. Make some. What is that? That's 8%. And again, I'm not perfecting this right now. I'm just doing it as best I can fit, just for presentation or show purposes. And you come back up here, and you'll notice if you go over to you see your corridor has been affected by this. Okay, so if you go over to this over here, it has all your information in it that you've done. So I want to look at corridor, which is right here. See how it's got that exclamation mark. So just rebuild it, and then you can kind of see it changed that, and you can come over here and see, well, what did it do over here? That looks kind of crazy in there. So it looks like I've got two surfaces. That is, and we do properties on that. Oh, I know what that is. Never mind. That is that's why I say I don't really like to use that. That's your cut and fill volume, crazy looking surface. So if you want to keep that, you go over here to surfaces, and what is that when it's surface volume? You go in here and to your surfaces and just hit that and go to properties and turn it off, or no display. Get that out of there, because it's going to freak you out and say, what the heck's going on there? Alright, so we just have to continue to tweak that. I could maybe pull this out. If it's going to mess with me here, but maybe pull that out a little bit. I don't really like having a fill, but that makes that 7.5. Pull this down maybe a little bit more, and maybe even add another curve in here. So if you hit that, you say, hey, you could add another curve in there, but I think we got enough here. We can kind of pull it up like that. Just you have to play with it, figure out how to hit that. What's the percentage on that? That's not bad. Okay, so again, you go back over here and check your corridor, and then you do rebuild. You're getting awful more closer in that direction. So again, you could take and move any of these up just a little bit. That one right there, you can just move up to the top surface like that. Check your grades, make sure, okay, 5, that's good. And then go over here and then rebuild again. And we're at, that's pretty close. I want to have a little bit more cut than I do fill. So there you go. We've balanced all this, and we got all this done. So one of the things I didn't do in the other video was do sample lines and cross sections. So let's try to go figure that out and add that too, so we can kind of look at what we've done here. So if we go to, first thing we've got to have sample lines. That's lines that go lined up perpendicular along your profile. You can add them individually or by range. So we got to pick the alignment. Now if you can't find it, it's buried in here, just hit enter, and then you can pick it from here. So you hit OK there. Now this little toolbox, which is hidden from this guy right here, is there. So we'll call this SL, or that's fine. The name there, and that's fine there. That looks right. So you want to pay attention over here, line groups. But this is where you want to set these. Add a station, you want to be individuals. But really, I don't want to do that, so I want to pick range. And then this tool comes up here, so I look at the range. It looks pretty good there. Now the width on the left, I want that 100. Width to right, I want to go 100. And that sample increments is 50. That's okay for now. I mean, you could do 25. It's going to be quite a lot. Let's hit that. And there you go. There's your sample lines. So we got sample lines in there and there's stations on them. So now we can create the actual sections. So we'll hit multiple sections because that's going to create multiple ones up and down your sheets. And you get in here and it just kind of go through the standard walkthrough, which is A1. And you know, you want to use the sample line, you just got it. Stations right. I mean, you can change this if you want to. Or section, I call these SEC-1. That's fine. All that looks good. I want to make these. That's 20. That's good. I mean, style, but I can always, fix that if I want to at the end. You can always fix that. Now this is production. If you had a template, I don't have a template. That's like if you had a sheet that you want these to fit into. I don't have that, so I'm going to hit draft down here, and that's fine. 2436. So then we'll go next. That looks good. Next. Could fix that, but I'm not going to. Next. There's all your surfaces. I think that's good. I don't know what happened there. There's two of those in there. I'm going to go ahead and create them. Create sections, and it's going to say where the heck you want to put these guys. Put them over here. Let's see what we got. Did we get what we're supposed to get? Looks like we did. And there you have these little nodes on there, but there's your road, and then there's where it ties in all your sections there. And I think you can go in there. I mean, this is a template. I haven't actually used this thing in a long time, but I never really forget those. You can always go to that style and maybe turn those off. I'm not really sure what those are. They're little nodes, but I don't want to see those. So we go here to properties and see what we can do. Or go back actually. Cancel. Let's try that and see what happens. So it's all in the style there, and I think you can go in and actually match that. I'm not really sure if you can. I haven't done the match thing on this, but let's see if it works. Come on. Take forever here. Yeah. So you can just match those if you set your style up, and that's a whole different video on setting styles, but if you use the AutoCAD Imperial, it should work. So that's an example of how we get alignment. Then you do an existing profile, propose profile, then we create a assembly template or section view. Then after that we create a corridor with that, and then we create a corridor surface. Then we do an analysis of cut and fill, and then if you want to do cross section, create a sample and create your actual section views. So pretty cool. Alright, man. See you later.